Today is Tuesday, March the 17th, 2024. This is the Parks Commission's meeting. It's 4 o'clock. Would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Bobby Price is absent. Jennifer Travis. Here. Gwen Martin.
Here.
Cindy Bell.
Here.
And then Otis Edwards is in the audience, obviously, but we do have a quorum.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
I wasn't here. Was it Gwen? Okay.
I'll second.
Ms. Travis?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Tate?
Yes.
Ms. Bell?
Yes.
It's unanimous. We'll get to you, Ashley, very soon.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay.
The first thing on the agenda is the Freedom Fest Committee.
Our group didn't meet last Thursday. We kind of broached the higher end topics of all of the aspects of the festival. It seems like we're in line to have a good event this year. We also opened the vendor registration for food trucks and vendors this year. That was open on Friday, and have seen some start to trickle in. I think we have 10 vendors and 4 food trucks right now. My plan is to email the vendors from events in the past, and then same for food trucks. And expecting a huge uptick in signups after that.
Where are you positioning those? do
Up
you
Main.
think? Up Main.
Yep, we'll still have the square clear for people to hang out.
Good.
Are there any other questions?
Pretty topical meeting. I think we'll start to get the nuts and bolts of things next month.
Have y'all picked a music group?
Yep, so we'll have, our headliner will be Barrett Baber. He's from Northwest Arkansas, and he was a semifinalist on The Voice in 2015. Very engaging entertainer, and about half the price of what we spent last year. So that's always positive. And then Oreo Blue is a classic rock, yacht rocky kind of band from Northwest Arkansas. Gary Hutchinson is kind of a staple in the area. I think they'll have a pretty good draw. And then Brandon Butler Band is kind of that classic country band that is just more of they're classic country, but they're also a bunch of young guys. So I think we'll have a pretty decent draw. We're covering all the age ranges with our music this year.
All right. The next thing on the agenda is the Trail Committee. We met this past week, or last week, and we would like to discuss later on about the Bell Park Loop. We'll have more discussions about that, and we just kind of talked about plannings for next coming projects and stuff like that. But, yes. Tree and Plant Board.
No report.
Recreation Committee.
I might make a comment on the tree and plant board. Our Arbor Day signs at the edge of town have been pretty shabby looking for the past several years. I ordered new signs. So next time you come into city limits, you should see one. And it has a little sticker on the bottom of it showing that we're a member for 7 years.
Correct.
Good.
So maybe, yeah, they're at 71 coming from Boonville, on Main coming from Fort Smith, and then on Denver as you come to town. They look a lot nicer than what we had before.
Oh,
Okay.
Recreation Committee? Okay, you didn't call me yet, so I was waiting. Okay, so Recreation Committee, Casey and I have met. We met yesterday to kind of talk through everything that's going on. So I think last meeting we had talked about getting the job recs posted. Those are posted. We've got a few applicants. Casey also went ahead and opened up registration for the camp. We've gotten a few kids that have signed up already. And Casey was going to email all of our past campers to just say, hey, by the way, this is open. And we did cap it at 50 kids per week. So I think that's really going to, push people to sign up early. And with the new payment system online, we will be easygoing, and we won't have to worry about all the kind of back and forth stuff that we had, before, and kids not showing up, and they took a spot and never paid, and so I think we're in good shape.
Remind me what the age group is you're.
So it's completed first grade through seventh grade, or, yeah. 6 to 13, sorry.
And I know that we've sent out an email to all the students to give them an opportunity if they wish to participate.
Thank you. That's wonderful, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if we need to send something out to the elementary and middle school for kids to participate.
Once again, that would have to be approved by our administrators.
Right, okay. I can talk to the admin office, Carol or somebody. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
If y'all have church friends or friends of family that might want to work, it would be nice if we could beef up our candidate pool a little bit. Kind of our target range is 16 to 20.
Year-olds, yeah, teenagers. yeah.
And how much does it pay?
Well,
Like $12?
Counselors pays 13 and coaches pays 15.
good for a summer job.
Yeah, great. And it's 4 weeks, so it's all 4 weeks of June.
Just in the daytime?
9 to 3, 8:30 to 3:30, but 9 to 3.
Okay.
And gives them the full experience of, let's say for an interview, having to be responsible with the job, just all the good things that a young adult would need.
If we have someone in mind, do they just go to HR or you, or
Either one.
Okay.
Or, yeah, just grab an application.
application? Okay, just regular way.
And you can put on there recommended by Charlotte. Yeah.
Okay, I have somebody in mind to ask.
But really,
young.
I mean, because that'll help us to kind
Yeah,
of be
she's a
like,
really
oh,
good
okay,
girl.
yeah.
And same for donors too. If y'all know anyone that might like to donate to the program, it would help us offset some costs a little bit. Kind of be a padding so that we don't have as much overrun as we did last year.
Mhm.
And then still, as families need, we offer scholarships. So it would be nice to be able to discount some folks' tuition as they need.
And we decided on $90 a week. $90 a week.
Okay. Are there any questions? Okay. Are there any items to be added to the agenda?
Can I add an item? Can I make a suggestion?
You can.
Departmental branding.
Okay. All right. Financial update.
Okay, so the first thing I want to do is give you some good news. So that if you haven't already heard, the February collection that we, or distribution to us was 15.9% cumulative growth over the previous years. Anything, we budgeted 0%, so we were anticipating that we would just remain flat for 26. However, what we saw was in the first 2 months, we saw collections or distribution of collections not as adversely impacted by the rebates. So we ended up at a cumulative change over the prior year of 15.19% so far. Now, don't get too excited because that's not necessarily a trend. We are significantly susceptible to whatever happens on the rebate front and the audit adjustments that are being done. However, things look positive because usually in about February, we get the year-end filers for rebates. They still could have lagged a month, and we're waiting to see what happens in March. But the next big push will be in the June 30th, which August is when we would see that impact. So we're still watching it, but we think it's going to be a lot more positive from our budget perspective for the city sales and use tax. And that's good for Casey's perspective because That's money that can be either banked or being used for capital projects that you have in mind that you were pushing off a little bit. If that trend continues, though, there's excess monies now being distributed through that now approved city sales and use tax extension. So we don't have to worry about that. County, which is your operating side, which is your parks O&M, came in at 3.percent cumulative growth for the first 2 months on a zero-based budget. That's phenomenal, considering that last year at this point, we were below 1%, as far as that's concerned, negative. So that's a 4.1% swing, or actually a 4% swing, which is good, and that helps your operating. What I was talking about as far as the rebate is concerned is in 2025, February experienced 115,000 holdback from our distributions, which is money that was given back to vendors of significant purchasings that had to do mostly with our road project that's out there. Right now, in 2026, the February distribution held back 38,000, which is significantly lower. And we're hoping that trend continues because that's where our majority of our impact came. As far as the sales is concerned, purchasing power, or the sentiment of the people within the city limits, this has to do with the city sales and use tax distribution. These cities are what makes up the county, and all of these cities stand alone as far as the city sales and use tax is concerned, because that tax is derived by purchases made within the city and the commercial vendors that are within that city, as well as online sales delivered to point of sale those cities. So Greenwood was one of the higher in the Midland. Doesn't take much to get a 23.8% increase when your sales volume is roughly, or your distributions are at about $2,000. But Barling had a significant increase. We did too. Everybody else was positive, but not as robust. When you look at taking out on the bottom here, you negate the distribution impact of the rebate and the distribution impact of the audit adjustment, we ended up with a 2.13% increase over the previous year. And even though the percent change is 15.19%, 2.13 is the adjustment for the amount for the rebates and audit adjustment. So you take the noise out and you go and convert that to taxable sales. Taxable sales was up $750,000 in the first 2 months of distribution, which is November and December of 25. November and December of 25, and in this case, November and December of 24, was the actual sales volume that generated the distribution in January and February, November and December. So that $750,000 is that 2.13% increase, which is good. That means there was a positive sentiment on the purchasing power through the holidays. I don't know if that's going to remain, but that's through the holidays. January, we might see a little bit of a decline, primarily due to the cold that we had. People weren't getting out. I don't know what impact that had, unless the people that were driving the UPS trucks and FedEx trucks and all the deliveries that were being made online purchasing, that could have a significant impact to us to offset whatever you didn't do going out to retail shops. As far as your parks restricted fund balances are concerned, you're 1.16% up as far as February 28th's amount in the fund balance is concerned from the previous year's balance in December of 2025. And you are about 25% up from where you're budgeted to be. And that budgeted number will obviously change when and if the inclusive park distribution occurs, because we didn't budget the distribution, but when that happens, the amount of money in the account will be distributed. Realize too that city sales and use tax in this amount, in this budget, is a $150,000 distribution to the inclusive park. So the inclusive parks numbers will be impacted by another $150,000 positive in the fund balance, which ultimately will be distributed payments to the inclusive park. As far as your only reason I'm showing you this is your operating O and M. The budget called for a $19,800 surplus. That would fund back the unrestricted general fund. And I wanted to show you, that's your budget right there. So I wanted to show you where you are. That $19,823 is your budget, and $115 is where you are as far as a deficit spend right now for 2 months. But you gotta realize that this budget counts on a total annual amount that's put in for revenue stream. We do not budget monthly, and we don't have that parsed out, so what's actually happening is $115 is virtually liquid. It's not a negative necessarily impact when you look at where the revenues come in. There could be significant more revenue stream impact down the line, and also your expenses don't happen equally every month. So as far as city sales and use tax parks is concerned, $148.50 on the 101,000 budget. You're gonna start seeing some movement in both of these numbers as the months go on, specifically because of the increase that we saw in the city sales and use tax, as far as our amount coming in for the funding. Parks A&P grant fund is up high, and that's where you're gonna be looking at a deficit spend, but from what you've reported right now, as far as revenue is concerned, January's numbers was December's actual sale of tax collection in January. So that distribution was favorably impacted by a robust December. I will show you the numbers right now for A&P. This is through February. This 18,000 was 11.2% up. So you're getting a 40% distribution on the amount of money that came in for A&P in January. And that was distributed in February. February's number was distributed in March. So February's 40% is gonna be calculated on 15,712. Right now, we have had 4 vendors catch up in the month of March on paying their past dues. So of those 4 vendors, those numbers will impact what's collected in March. So I see the cumulative number of 1.72% down, recovering in the month of March due to some of those late payers catching up. So right as of today, we had 4 vendors catch up. So you're looking at what the trend was that I was seeing. If you look at the total prepared food sales, which is this number in total that was collected divided by 1%, you're saying that from 2018 to 12/9, it went up, 14, up to 16, up to 18, up to 20, up to 21, up to 22. You started to see a little bit of a slowdown. And then in 25, you saw the decrease. It was $600,000 decrease in taxable sales, generating the 227,800 to 221,760 disparity there. So you're looking at taxable sales dropping more than $500,000, and what the tax that was distributed to us based on the distribution dropping about $6,000 to what could have been used for 40% of that was yours, and the rest would be distributed to grant requests. So we saw that negative trend happen early in the year, and it kind of panned out for the whole year. Now, it could be that you lost vendors, you lost some commercial enterprises that went out of business. It could also be that you had late payers catching up or didn't catch up. Several reasons for that, and remember that this prepared food sales tax, this indication is merely a calculation on what was sent into us, not what they actually sold. So it's based solely on our collections in the form of dividing it back into prepared food sales. It's the closest thing we have to what would be accurate. And that's pretty much it.
Are there any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Well, it is my sad duty to announce that Mr. Otis has resigned from the Parks Commission in lieu of younger committee members. So, it's with great pleasure.
I'm gonna take pictures.
Okay.
Kinda-
I'll come around in just a second. It is with great pleasure that the certificate of appreciation is given to Otis Edwards in appreciation of your years of service to the Greenwood Parks Commission and committees. Your hard work and commitment have made a meaningful difference.
photo.
We need to get a picture of y'all with your certificate of appreciation. Thank you so much for everything you've done through the years.
Otis, I want to tell you how much I appreciate working with you all those years. We couldn't figure out how many years exactly, 15, 20, I'm not sure, but we'll miss you.
When you're 86, what's a year?
With that, it is also my great pleasure to introduce our new committee member, Ashley Parker. Ashley Parker. And at this time, would you be kind enough to,
I'll swear you in,
Swear.
state law that we do this. Would you take pictures from behind me or something? Yeah. So you get mostly her and not much me? You were stay there. Yeah.
oh,
Seal of the state of Arkansas.
so let me move.
Yeah, you
Good.
bet.
Raise your right hands and repeat after me. I, Ashley Parker, do solemnly swear that I support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Arkansas, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Parks Commissioner upon which I'm about to enter. You are sworn in, and thank you for your service to the city.
Now you get the vote.
Yes, now we can vote.
Charlotte, remind us what her term is.
I will
know that
look
it
at
would-
this, schedule.
Otis may remember what his was.
Yeah, he may not.
With that being said, or done, we now need to open up a alternate membership. There is an application here, so if anyone knows of anyone
26.
that they feel would be a good alternate, standby person, please let us know. Will we be also posting this on Facebook?
Yes, I can put it out there on Facebook and.
Or whatever, but there is a application process, and one of the key things we've got to remember is to make sure that they live within the city limits. Okay? All right. Are there any questions? All right. The next thing, the next item on the agenda is Bell Park loop discussion. So Casey had some good news.
Yeah.
That he shared with me at our Trails meeting, and some things that we need to discuss.
We had the rare opportunity to where we actually fell into a windfall. Isn't that great? So whenever they told us that our trail was going to cost us $1.4 million, they reviewed their calculations and found a major miscalculation to the tune of over $1 million. So what we thought was going to cost us $1.4 million is actually going to cost $365,000 and some change. The good thing about the $365,000 number is that they've actually calculated a 10% contingency. I think that we're kind of seeing it in like the 10 to 20% range between engineering and construction. So having that pad in there is actually pretty comforting. I'm expecting this to be a little bit closer to $400,000 just to be on the safe side of things. So I think $400,000 is a good conservative number for us to expect the project to actually kick off and be finished at. The difficult part is, we kind of knew that we were going to have to kick this down the road a little bit, and that there's a good chance that this, at least the construction aspect of this, was not going to happen this year. So we did not budget our match for the larger of the two RDOT grants. So we would have to, if we wanted to start the project this year, we would have to pursue some type of grant funding. Whether it be local grants or we wait till next year.
So what is our match? What are we talking about?
These are the 80-20 grants.
Okay.
We have a $200,000 grant and a $126,000 grant. Pretty well close.
So we need 20% of 400,000?
20% of 200,000, because we already have a match for the second grant budgeted.
40,000.
40,000.
So, because Tom just told us we have all this extra money coming in. I mean, that's what you said, right?
Well, currently you do.
Exactly. Would we be able to kind of say, okay, let's keep our budget how we had planned, but as this increase grows, can we kind of,
Check it as
Yeah,
the
yeah,
months go along.
dog
Yeah,
ear that.
I had thought about that as Tom was talking or mentioning that. I think that's probably a good idea, just to see where we land. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that we'll make up, when it's all said and done, we'll probably need $100,000
Mm-hmm.
to make it happen. I don't think that we'll see $100,000 swing.
but we just need 40 to match the grant.
Right, and then we'll have excess that we'll have to pay out of pocket that the grants won't meet.
Right.
Because we're only going to have $326,000 in grant funding.
Right, plus the 40 that we've gotten to meet the 200. Right?
That's part of your match.
Right. Yeah. So if we have 326,000 plus the 40,000, that's 366,000, which is the number that's on our thing with the 10% contingency of 33,000.
Let me sit with Tom this week so that we can actually put the pencil to it.
You know how much I want that trail. I
No,
use it
I
frequently.
really, the past few weeks have made me really want this to happen too. We've had an individual break their leg on the certain really steep section, and then 2 days later, someone broke their ankle. So,
Sliding on the gravel.
yeah.
Talked
I
about-
just did that with the clicker.
But this also puts back any ideas of the bridges, the floating bridges. That would also put that back into
Planning stages.
planning stages and everything like that. And what Casey and I talked about last week is we would still like to put that on the wish list and everything like
Absolutely.
that.
Oh, the bridges?
The
Yeah.
bridges.
Oh, for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that'd be, but this grant is already kind of designed for this project, so we wouldn't have to switch it over to another kind of grant. So keep an eye on it as the money comes in, and maybe at the end of the year.
Yep.
Or maybe the first of next year when we look at our budgets. That's what we were kind of thinking.
Sounds reasonable.
So, but we were very surprised.
Doesn't usually work like that, does it?
doesn't.
Well, how did they overdo it? to $1 million?
I don't have a clue. And I don't have a clue why the number 1.4 million, whenever that is what their computer showed out of them, I don't understand why they didn't start checking each individual quantity.
I mean, we had immediately been like, oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
seems astronomical.
Yeah.
And it was. Okay.
There's some things in the background that's going on that kind of explain why that happened, but they've been remedied now.
Okay.
Good.
So do we need to do anything at this stage of the game? Do we need to vote, or
Just to
just
wait
have it a
and watch.
discussion and wait to see what happens? Yes,
I mean, if there's no formal decision.
no, this is more of
We're
a
good.
instructional kind of thing.
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is branding for the parks.
Open me up, Tom. I have explored options for us to have our own departmental things. I like the idea of us having our own identity as a parks department. And I like this. It gives us the opportunity to kind of stand out and still be a part of a Greenwood team. I think the last thing that I wanted to do personally was present something to y'all that was just a picture of something and not clearly have Greenwood on it. But I think this looks cool. It's parkish and kind of sets us apart. I also researched across the state, and I have several slides here, but Batesville, while it takes some from their city logo, they also have a parks logo. Benton has their own parks logo. And the theme, like, it seems like the general theme is that everything is blue and green. Except for that one. Cabot, Parks and Rec, Conway Parks and Rec, the city of colleges, roundabouts. That's ugly, but they have their own. Sorry, that doesn't fit my taste. Yeah. It doesn't fit my taste, but they have their own. This is Fayetteville. Hope, Little Bitty Hope has their own. Hot Springs.
That's real busy.
Yep. Jonesboro. Little Rock. That one's cool. North Little Rock is cool. Rogers. Searcy. West Memphis.
Okay.
So I was just hoping that y'all would give me the green light to start using this, just to kind of differentiate ourselves, while still being a part of the Greenwood umbrella.
I love the idea of us having our own identity that way. It's not a completely new idea. I have a T-shirt, Greenwood Parks and Rec, with a tree on it, actually. Not
Falls right in line then.
Boy, I'm not sure whether, do you remember those, Otis? We had I can remember it was the first fall festival, I think.
Oh.
I'm wearing that T-shirt, and it was designed to be the parks. Yeah, we need some T-shirts.
Yeah,
Polo shirts.
naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Embroidered.
This was done with embroidery in mind.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And this would show up on your park website?
Facebook,
Website.
potentially the website. Our guys would have T-shirts with that on it. The side of the trucks.
Just one comment, as someone that moved to Greenwood, I mean, it's been 4 years now. There's a lot of Greenwoods out there. I
Oh,
wonder
yeah.
if we put AR somewhere,
Oh, okay.
maybe
Greenwood
under the
comma
tree.
AR.
Yeah.
or Under the tree, or like I don't know.
I can find a way to sneak it in there
Yeah,
Good point.
yeah. Greenwood, South
to where
Carolina.
it's like subtly done,
Ooh,
but
like
still,
make roots out of like an AR or something.
we'll figure it out. Yeah,
Like it's growing deep
yep.
in Arkansas.
We will make that change.
Okay.
Thank you. I guess you need a motion.
Do I have a motion to adopt this new branding?
I make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Travis?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Bell?
Yes.
Ms. Parker? It's unanimous.
All right. Director's report.
Not a ton to report. The pickleball court updates, I know last month we had issue with the courts being inside of a larger city center, so I stuck them in the middle of a soybean field this month. Thank you, AI. That work will actually start at the end of this month. And that should take them about a week to be finished.
Just curious, when is the work? Like, do you have a day?
30th,
Oh, perfect.
the Monday of the 30th,
Okay,
end
so
of this
right
month.
after spring break.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
This week, I'll go out there and I'll post signs all over, just so that, the expectations are kind of set, that the courts will be closed, we'll make social media posts, do all the things we need to do. Also, setting expectations on this is a short-term fix. We talked about that before. This buys you time, 3 to 5 years. The best way to repair these is to pour a post-tension slab. And that's like close to a lifetime fix. This is still considered temporary. Especially if we build courts in the future, they need to be a post-tension slab. We just need to spend the extra money to do it right. And then we'll work on the next time, as cracks start to form on these, we'll start to hopefully look into a post-tension slab on these, because you can actually build on top.
I've had a couple of people inquire about, is it possible to get windscreens put up? And they said that the way they.
Probably especially after
covered-
this weekend.
Yeah, the way they covered the cost at Van Garen is they got sponsorships.
Oh,
And then they printed the logo on a panel, and that's, a person would pay like $500 and it would sponsor that.
sure.
So,
Yeah, I can absolutely look into it.
Yeah, the panels.
Mesh.
It is mesh,
It is mesh.
but it's, certain. They have them at Van Garen.
Yeah, okay.
It's just mesh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Inclusive park updates, there's not much to update outside of what we talked about last month. We did have a meeting with Steve Beam, and he is donating all of his labor. So, huge help. We'll only be responsible to purchase material. I am working with the street department to help us clear that lot. So I think that there's going to be considerable cost savings there as well. I have a meeting on April 13th with the state, and we're expecting to have our notice to proceed on the project that week or the week after. So then, once we have the green light from the state, we can really start rocking and rolling on things. That's kind of why I'm in a holding pattern on it right now, is they were very forward about not expensing anything toward the project until you have that notice to proceed. So much, they told me that they're not going to pay for anything with grant funding if you purchase anything. So Pavilion is still tracking, and we're moving on schedule. We haven't had hardly any issues out of the pavilion.
And this Friday, nice weather,
Oh yeah, movies in the park.
movies in the park.
Yep. I did go ahead and remove the Good Friday. I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah. It'll probably wind up being a weekday because all of the Fridays in April are booked.
What if we moved it to that Thursday instead of Good Friday, do it on the Thursday?
Yeah.
I think the kids have out of school on Friday. No,
The 16th,
Oh, that's what I'm thinking.
April the 16th. The kids are out on the 16th. Let me make sure that I'm telling you the right date. Good Friday was so close to spring break, it was decided to move it to the middle of, it's the 17th. The kids will be out the 17th, so that the 16th, the kids, you could do it the 16th if possible, because the kids are out the 17th. If you wanted to do that.
Yeah, I'll plan for that. Because I was gonna try to get a couple more in before the evenings got too late. Having to start a movie at 8:38 is really rough. Because then our guys still have to, they're there till midnight typically. So I will focus on the 16th and then try to maybe find a second date. Because before the movie plays Friday, we'll have advertising. So I'll show you the future dates for the movies. I've got a video for the inclusive park, just kind of showing you what's going on inside the department. Last Wednesday, I sat for a 3-hour exam and passed, and the exam was for a certified Parks and Recreation professional. So I'm now one of 28 in the state.
Right.
with that
Congratulations.
precision. And that's all I have.
Okay. Any questions? Comments? I would like to thank Casey and everybody who worked on this, and I'd like to thank our voters for entrusting us to passing the tax for another 10 years. I'm grateful that they gave us an opportunity, and I hope that they will see that we're using our money wisely, their money wisely in everything. So thank you to Casey, to everyone at the City Hall who worked hard on it, and I really want to say thank you to our voters who have faith in us. Are there any other comments? Concerns? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second.